everyone! Today I'm here to do a video in which I am going to show you all of the books that I have got signed over the last couple of years. It's kind of weird, I didn't think I had as many books signed as I thought I did, but it turns out when I actually put them in a pile I've got quite a few signed, which is awesome. I've mainly got them signed through lovely friends getting books signed for me, or working at the Cheltenham Literature Festival and going to Young Adult Literature Convention last year. But because I've got quite a few signed, I thought I would just get straight into it. Just kind of easing myself back in with the videos again, so I thought this would be quite a nice one to do to get me back into the swing of things. High-pitched chiming! So the first book is Rebel of the Sands by Alway and Hamilton. I am yet to read this. You'll find with most of them I am... Ooh. I have a signed thing in here from Caroline Lawrence, which I've never read one of their books. I don't know, that's interesting. I haven't read this yet, I've heard some good things about it, so yeah. I think she's at Yalk again this year, but she had a fabulous gold pen, and it says, "To Sean, join the rebellion, Alwyn Hamilton." I've got a thing with people having nice signatures, so like if there are some signed copies of a book and the signature's really small and scrawly, I'm just like, what's the point? Have a nice, awesome, cool signature, get a stamp, live life on the wild side. The next three books I have signed are by the lovely V.E. Schwab. I met her at Yalk last year. She is awesome. She's one of the kind of authors that's really cool and in like an intimidating way, and that you like just want to be like, hey, I'm cool too, notice me. So I have read this Savage Song, really enjoyed it. It's very just young adult and wonderful and fantasy and everything that's up my alley. It just says "To Sean" with a, well, it doesn't say "To Sean", it says "Sean" dash with a wonderful squiggle. And then I got her other books. Well, I got this one personalised, Darker Shade of Magic, personalised and signed. And then at Yalk they had the Waterstones area, and they had some like pre-signed books, so I then just got the second one in the Darker Shade of Magic signed. It's just got a blue signature. Then I also got to meet the lovely Samantha Shannon last year at Yalk, and I got the Bone Season and the Mime Order signed. Samantha Shannon's was actually really cool. First of all, her writing is awesome, and she also has like the Shun, I don't know how to pronounce it, stamp, which I thought was awesome. And look at that for a signature. That is a fabulous signature. Authors take note, if you want to make a cool signature, that's how you do it. This one says, "To Sean, best wishes." Yeah. This is probably one of my most favourite ones. Last year at the Cheltenham Literature Festival I got the honour to meet Laini Taylor. She was really nice, a genuinely nice author signing. Stayed till the very end when I rocked up with her awesome pink hair, and I got all three books in the series signed. She has an awesome signature as well. It just says "Hi Sean" and then a giant squiggle. Ooh. If you haven't read this series yet, definitely read it, and if you're going to Yalk, she's going to be there this year, and I highly recommend reading this and meeting her because she's awesome. That one has a smiley face. Obviously popular, got more popular as the book went on. Oh! Exclamation point. And then the next book that I've got is another author that I met at the Young Adult Literature Convention last year. They had lots of authors at their own sort of stands where publishers were, and I picked up this one, More of Me by Catherine Evans, and that's just a for Sean. Hope you enjoy it. The generic kind of niceness, but she was really lovely. The next ones, which I actually genuinely forgot that I had signed, I have got Goth Girl signed by Chris Riddell. He's one of the people that has just like the genuinely cool signature, like he does it in silver on the black page, and I dig that, I totally dig that. And then I got The Lie Tree by Frances Harding and Chris Riddell signed. Again, I'm yet to read this, which is annoying because I feel like I'd really like it, but they both just "To Sean, squiggle, as you do." Yes. And then the next books that I've got signed, I asked to get signed at the Cheltenham Literature Festival last year, and they're some children's books. I read this one, A Clockwork Sparrow by Catherine Woodvine, and loved it. It's really good. I just, all of the mystery, and it's very much like whodunit, the old-fashioned kind of whodunit. So that one's just for Sean. Happy reading! And I think it's the same in her second book as well. Yeah, just for Sean. Happy reading, Catherine Woodvine. It's awesome. I love it very much. I like having signed books, but I always forget that I've got them. And then this next signed book is probably one of my favourites because it's an actor's book, so it's a autobiography, and it's Nick Frost from Shaun of the Dead. Now, Shaun of the Dead is the first zombie film that I watched that actually genuinely gave me a fear of zombies, which is hilarious because it's a comedy. I can watch it now, but I got to go meet Nick Frost before his event and ask him to sign a load of books, pre-sign a load of books for Waterstones, and he was really, really funny and really nice. And then I was at the front of his queue for his actual signing after, and it was so busy, and he remembered my name, like he remembered who I was. So it says, to Sean, thanks for all your help, you rock, Nick Frost. And I was just like, Nick Frost remembers my name, this is so cool. And the next book that I got signed was another author that I met last year at Yalc. Starting to see a pattern here. There's The Big Lie by Julie Mayhew. I'm yet to read this, but she did it in pink, and it's a thick pen. She knows how to sign her books. To Sean, ooh, Dawn, I found a bookmark of yours. The revolution starts right here. Julie Mayhew. So yeah, that was a nice one. The next book that's signed, I didn't actually get personalised or signed. It turned up at work with one of those banners in it that's already pre-signed. So I believe, or have I just completely, no, I haven't made that up. That's just a pre-signed sticky in thing. So it's Armada by Ernst Cline. I haven't read this one yet, but it's just the signature there. I adored Ready Player One. It's a book that I constantly recommend to people at work. Honestly, I didn't think I would like it, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it, so I was excited when that came inside. Then Patrick Ness was at Young Adult Literature Convention last year. I have only read The Knife of Never Letting Go by him. I didn't carry on with the series, not quite sure why. But I thought I would get a Monster Call signed. So it's also signed by one of the main characters. I think it's the main guy in the film. So he signed it, he was there, he was really nice and really cute. And then Patrick Ness signed it. Did he? Yeah, I did it there. There you go. Signed it there and then randomly put For Sean down there. I don't know. And the next two books that are signed are by the lovely Dawn Kurtagich. So I have read The Dead House, just absolutely loved it. It's creepy, suspenseful, everything you want in a book. If you haven't read it yet, I really honestly recommend it, highly recommend it. She did actually sign this one dedicated to me. I got the Creepy Man signed. But I found it signed on a pile of Waterstones. She'd obviously signed a pile of books for Waterstones. And I found it signed. And when I say that if I would ever become an author, I would sign cool, this is how I would sign it. So she signed it and drawn a really old creepy house, evil house. That is how you make me buy a signed book. Evil house drawings, just saying. And she also had a selection of Sharpies when I got the Creepy Man signed. You got to pick your own colour, I remember that. To Sean, so happy we finally got to meet. Yalc, you can't say it, Yalc 2016, and she also drew me a tree. This is probably one of the best signed books I have because it's just so bunky. Next book that's signed, I have again not read. It's not dedicated, it was another one that was on a pile in Waterstones at Yalc. And that's just Geek Girl by Holly Smale. A couple of my friends have read these and adored them, so I'm going to read them at one point, hopefully. That was just the signature up there. It's not my kind of style of book, but I feel like if I'm ever in a slump, which I am right now, thanks to the Dark Fever Michaela Lane series, thank you Sarah Jane, that's probably what I'll pick up if I can't read. Next on the list is a really high up one, because she was at Yalc last year, and one of my favourite authors, Odyssey is one of my favourite series. I got all the books by Maggie Father signed. I don't particularly enjoy her other series, so I didn't bother with those. But Maggie, if you didn't know, has the craziest signature. It's so cool. She's just badass. You only got to get one dedicated because the queue was like insane. But yeah, For Sean, squiggle squiggle, and I think the rest are the same. Ooh, as well. Just yeah. So she literally just does a squiggle throughout all of them. She was so cool, and her talk as well. It was more like a stand-up comedian act. She didn't really talk about her books, but I loved every second of it. She's just so cool. Signature! It was just like about her life and all the stuff that she'd been through, and it was awesome. The next book that I have, again, was dedicated to me. I actually found this in a charity shop, and it must be a first edition, not first edition, but an original edition of Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, because it's completely different. It's called The Gathering Dark, and the cover's obviously completely different, and it's signed. I found this in a charity shop, and it was a proper right old gold mine when I found it. I looked at it and I was like, what? Leigh Bardugo doesn't have any other books out. And then I read it and I was like, oh, ooh, interesting. So yeah, that's probably one of the like cool, rare ones that I have. And then the two of my favourite authors, well, this one is definitely my favourite author, Yalk, year before last, Sarah Jane went and I didn't get the opportunity to go. So she was a super duper amazing, incredible friend and got a dedicated edition of Clockwork Princess for me, because this is it's my all-time favourite trilogy. So, sorry, I'm wiggling my foot. She got that signed for me and it just says, oh, it's so pretty. Sarah J Maas was at the Cheltenham Literature Festival last year, so I managed to get my hardback edition of Throne of Glass signed by her, and my hardback edition of A Court of Mist and Fury dedicated and signed by her. Her pen ran out just as it was happening, so yeah, there's that one. So that one's just the signature, which is in gold. She was really, like, the queue was insane, so she couldn't dedicate everyone, obviously. And the final book that I have, which isn't dedicated, it's a special edition that Cassandra Clare did of Lady Midnight. She just has a stamp with her signature in it, but I thought I'd include it because this edition is stunning. And I'm going to be getting the edition for Lord of Shadows, because I'm so excited for that to come out. That's all of my signed books. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit like, whoa, rushed and all at you. I will see you in my next video. Bye!